Well, we're giving the Sevens guys an opportunity to understand and appreciate coffee a little bit more. So we're giving them a demonstration on how to make different types of coffee. I'll speak to them about what's involved in each different type of coffee. So what's the difference between a flat white to a cappuccino to a latte, for example. And we'll touch on the different ways in which coffee can be used to help support their performance and in their general life, general social life.
And are you making the coffee?
If I'm allowed to let loose, then I'd like to think I make a good coffee, but I think we'll leave it to some of the more specialised guys. So caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant, so it works in the brain and just helps improve various aspects such as fine motor control, a little bit on decision making. It's basically just a stimulant there. So its relevance within rugby is particularly for some of your key decision making players, maybe nines and tens. It can just help them make slightly better decisions, especially under fatigue. And the second aspect to it is caffeine reduces your rating of perceived exertion. So you feel exercise being a slightly lower intensity than perhaps it actually is with caffeine. So potentially you can push yourself slightly harder for slightly longer when or after taking caffeine.
And say, put yourself in the shoes of a club player in Scottish rugby. How can he get that effect? Is it 2 or 3 cups? Is it 1 cup a day? Is it no cups through the week and 2 or 3 before the game?
I think there's 2 aspects with coffee intake. There's the performance side that we've mentioned, but there's also the general health side. So caffeine and particularly coffee, it contains a number of different antioxidants that will help reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease, reduce your risk of diabetes, potentially also a bit of an anti-cancer nutritional element to it there. So it's very powerful. But on the performance side for a club player, I would say maybe 1 to 2 cups of coffee within the hour, 2 hours before a game will be more than enough to give you a high enough caffeine level to experience the benefits of it during the game. Everybody's very individual with the way that we metabolize caffeine, so some people respond very quickly to it, some people respond slightly slower, they need a slightly higher dose, and that's partly dependent on how much you take on during the week. So perhaps if you really want to get the maximum out of 1 coffee before game day on a Saturday, then maybe decrease your intake of coffee throughout the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the later stages of the week.
And can you get too much?
Yeah, as with everything in nutrition, you can take too much. Generally speaking, for health purposes, 2 to 3 coffees a day is generally thought to have some positive beneficial effects on long-term health markers. So, but you start to go 4, 5, 6, and you might get the caffeine jitters. You might become your tolerance to caffeine will slightly increase. So every time you take it, it's like any other drug. Every time you take it, and your body gets used to it, you've got to take a little bit more to get those performance outcomes.
So how much does